We talk a lot about how it's our job to help get kids ready for what's next. And in our case,
Mhm.
it really means we want to really work on our kids becoming effective communicators, creative
Yeah.
problem solvers, and engaged community members. And with that, a big thing for me is really helping kids figure out what they want in life and where they want to go and what they want to do and all of those sorts of things. Um, I'm very proud to say we have an awesome pathway for really kids that want to go on to four-year college, kids that want to go to tech school, kids that want to go out into the workforce. We have a lot of manufacturing in our town.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and my special guest today is Lee Tennis. Lee is the superintendent at Manitowoc School District in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Lee, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Courtney. Well, thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be with you today.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming superintendent and a little bit about Manitowoc.
Sure. Um, well, I moved to Manitowoc in 2001 when I graduated from Northern Michigan University with a degree in social studies education. I was a political science and history teacher at Lincoln High School here in the district for 10 years. I received my master's in educational leadership in 2009, and I began my career in administration in 2011 as an associate principal in a neighboring district. I then moved back to this district 4 years later, and I was a principal at a middle school for 2 years. I was principal at the high school for 7 years. And a few years ago, I became a curriculum and instruction director. And last year, I became interim superintendent when our superintendent resigned. And this year, they hired me. So now,
Awesome.
so I've been in the community for a really long time. I've been very
Long time.
active. I've served on various boards, organizations, nonprofits, the city council at one time years ago. Seems like yesterday, but it was already 15 or 17 years ago or something like that. And then uh, Manitowoc is a cozy little town, about 35,000 people right on Lake Michigan. So I grew up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, so I had to be by water. That was like a rule for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I landed in Manitowoc and I've never left. I love it here. I have two great kids. My daughter Samantha is a freshman at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and my son is a senior this year, and he'll be headed off to school next year. Uh,
So empty
so actually it's
nest.
really fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Empty nest. I'll tell you, that's a interesting one to navigate. Believe it or not, it's like, oh, all of a sudden, especially senior year, you're so busy making sure that that they have so many things going on and so many cool things happening in their lives, and then they graduate and they go off, and it's like, oh, it's quiet.
Really is. And out of
Yeah.
my 2 kids, my daughter's the one that is, has a little more energy and is a little more talkative and, those things. So it was a real notice when she
Oh, I
left,
bet.
yeah, to go to
Yeah.
school. But, we
Yeah.
had her home for a break and um, I think she was more homesick going back after break than she was in the fall when she went.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
sign. I'm glad she misses us, but
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, well, I'm lucky
exactly.
if I'm lucky if I get my son. I usually get him for Christmas, but never for Thanksgiving anymore. He's up in the one's up in Michigan, so
Yeah.
I get it. It's
It's
just life,
it's
and you don't want to stifle them. You want
Nope.
them to be, to fly, get their wings and fly, but it's hard sometimes.
I
Anyway.
know.
Anyway, so tell us about Manitowoc School District. What's
Mhm.
going on there?
Manitowoc Public School District is really at this point in time. You're actually catching us at a very challenging time in our history. We're a declining enrollment school district, which 70% of the districts in our state are. And
Mm,
so when I moved here in 2001, we had about 5,500 students. And today I'm talking to you, we have about 4,300.
Ooh, wow.
And so but structurally, we operate really the same way. So, as you can imagine, this is a conversation about consolidating efforts and resources and all those things. So, we're actually this year, the board recently passed a recommendation of my team to, we have to close 2 elementary schools. And that's been a very big challenge because as you well know, schools are part of people's identity. And,
Mhm.
especially in our town that is really rich in history and tradition, we have a very beautiful 102-year-old high school that has a tower and overlooks Lake Michigan.
Mm,
It was, nominated by Architectural Digest magazine in 20, I believe it was 2017 or 18, as the most beautiful school in the state of Wisconsin. So we're very, very proud of our rich traditions and history. But we have to do some things, differently to survive really in terms
yeah.
of operational constraints that we're under now with declining enrollment. But our folks have been great. We've worked through it. We're really trying hard to celebrate the schools that'll be closing and give a chance for those alumni and staff and retired folks an opportunity to celebrate that legacy. And so that's
Yeah.
something we're working on right now.
It's tough when you've had something for so long and then, but, times change for a reason, right? Things
Yeah,
yeah, it's hard though. It's really
it
hard.
is. It
It's really
is.
hard, yeah. I think the school that, I grew up, going to, um, I don't we were the Mustangs. It was in Grand Island, Nebraska. I think the community college uses it now. So,
Oh, is that right? Yeah,
yeah,
we're
I
we're
don't
the we're the Manitowoc ships,
ah,
because, we have a very rich shipbuilding history here. We built, subs in World War II and
wow.
all sorts of things and, yachts. We have a boat company, called
Wow.
Berna Boat that builds yachts. So
Well,
very
if you're
rich,
right on yeah, if you're
maritime.
right on the water, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
so I grew up in
yeah.
Grand Island, Nebraska, and the high school, it was the Grand Island Islanders, Nebraska. A landlocked
Yeah,
state. Go
that's
figure that
funny.
one out. Yeah, it was the Grand Isle because at that time, when a little bit of history about Grand Island, Nebraska, nobody wants to know, but I know, is it was the Platte River. The Platte River went around both sides of Grand Island, and it was the Grand Isle. So, a little bit of not a great I don't know why they did that, but there you go. So, we were always the Grand Island Islanders and no an island in the middle of Nebraska. So there you go.
That's very interesting. I never knew one existed in the US.
There you go. And it's really not there's no really and the crazy thing is that as they've, dammed it and things have changed, there's no water in it anymore. Oh, it's
Really?
great. Oh, yeah, it's one of those no, it's not a meandering, it's one of it's the other kind, I don't know, geology where they, it's sandbars all over and it just changes and anyway, someone's gonna correct
So
me,
the
but that's
question
okay.
is did they change their mascot?
No, nope, nope,
No,
nope,
no,
nope,
no,
nope,
still
nope, nope.
Islanders, yeah.
Nope, we're still the Islanders, still the
Okay.
island, still a palm tree. Can't find a palm tree one in Grand Island, Nebraska, but there's a palm tree on their mascot. So,
I'm
you
gonna have
know,
to look that one up.
yeah. There's, they have like anything else, a proud history. This is what we have. This is who we are, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, it was a great place to grow up. Definitely was. I haven't lived in it in a long time, but lots of really good people in Grand Island, Nebraska. So, there you go. Anyway, okay. So what else? What good things? Tell me some great things
Sure.
that are happening because
Yeah,
I know there are
so
good things that
we're
are
super
happening too.
oh, of course, absolutely. We talk a lot about how it's our job to help get kids ready for what's next, and in our
Hmm.
case, it really means we want to really work on our kids becoming effective communicators, creative
Yeah.
problem solvers, and engaged community members. And with that, a big thing for me is really helping kids figure out what they want in life and where they want to go and what they want to do and all of those sorts of things. So um, I'm very proud to say we have an awesome pathway for really kids that want to go on to four-year college, kids that want to go to tech school, kids that want to go out into the workforce. We have a lot of manufacturing in our town.
Hmm.
So two real things I'm proud of. One, on the work side of things, we have a very robust school to work program. 177 of our students are youth apprentice in our
Wow.
so they work for various businesses and
Mm-hmm.
organizations. They're paired with mentors. They go to school half time and they work half time, and it's a great experience. We fill the Capitol Civic Center every year with the celebration of really this partnership. It's hard to explain, but we have a great relationship with our business community as a result of it. They're appreciative of having our kids because they're fantastic.
Mhm.
And very grateful that we're giving kids a chance to really experience a career opportunity. And I say an awful lot. Sometimes the biggest lesson learned is that I don't want to do that. And
Right.
what
Yeah,
value
for
of
sure.
lesson
Yeah.
learned when you're 17 or 18 instead of spending a year or two in school and or doing something that you
Getting a
don't even
liberal
want
arts
to do.
degree and having nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
there you
do with it?
go.
Right?
There
Yeah,
you go. So
for
so we're
sure.
very proud of that program. In 2017, we only had 57, youth apprentice, and now we're up to, like I said, almost 180. Um,
Wow.
30% roughly of our high school is involved in some type of schoolwork programming, so it's very
Neat.
exciting. On the
Yeah.
other side of the coin, we know that, four-year college is a thing for a lot of kids, and we did something here in Manitowoc that was the first in our state. We partnered with the University of Wisconsin Green Bay to create what we call the Rising Phoenix program, which is essentially an opportunity for our students going into their junior year to be duly enrolled in high school and in college, and earn an associate's degree while going to high school. They take very minimal classes on our campus. We're really well positioned in that we have an extension of University of Green Bay in our town that's about less than
Nice.
2 miles from our high school campus, and we've now got 100 kids in that program, and they're earning their associate's degree, most of them for no cost. We have a cap on the no cost, but we pass on our discounts to the others, and quite frankly, affordability is a big issue in our area,
Yeah, of course.
and that access to four-year college, right in our own backyard has been a great step up for some kids. The program really looks at first generation college students, students that are struggling to meet financial needs. And it's been an incredibly successful program. Our students are really killing it in there. They've got a great GPA. They've earned, we essentially estimate that over the course of the few years we've run this program, that first of all, 2,588 credits were earned for a savings of $1.6 million to our families.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I mean, those are our two flagship programs.
Absolutely.
We're strong in the arts. We have a great arts program here that we're excited about. And then, your typical Division One size. We're still Division One, even though we're declining enrollment.
Mhm.
We're in the top 50 size districts in the state.
Okay.
So, there's 430 districts in the state. We're in the top 50, in
Okay.
size. So, we're still large enough, but it provides us great opportunities to really focus in on some special things for kids.
Are you struggling to keep speech therapy fully staffed or tired of high turnover? You're not alone. At Lighthouse Therapy, our speech language pathologists are seasoned professionals, and most of them have over 16 years of school based experience. They're not just qualified, they're consistent, relational, and results driven. We offer 3 flexible delivery models: virtual therapy, hybrid therapy, and in person therapy. It's speech therapy done right for you and your students. Learn more at lighthouse-therapy.com/brighter together. Curious about that. When you talk about, so there's different divisions, is we're talking about sports, right? I mean, this is my
Yeah,
ignorance. I don't,
yeah.
I mean, is it
Yep.
mostly sports or is it other things as well?
Well, it may transfer into other things, but when we're talking divisions, it's primarily through the WIA and through our interscholastic sports
Okay.
system.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And that translates into like what schools are probably going to look at the kids when they look for athletes going to scholarships, that kind of thing, or does that not make a difference?
Probably doesn't. In
Okay.
that case, they'll recruit kids who would be good fits for their program, whether they're in Division 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. Uh,
Okay.
The key really there is for, when you're getting to the point of your end of season tournaments and things of this nature, we have championships for
Mhm.
Division 1, 2, 3, 4, so
Right.
down the line. So that's
Okay.
primarily the reason for having that delineation.
And the Division 1 championships are the toughest, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
those are the ones where you have
They're
the
the
most competition and
Yeah,
not everybody's gonna get to play, and why
that's
isn't
right.
my child getting to play football? And, it's like, "Yeah, sorry, he's a bench warmer. That's just the way it is," right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
because not every child can play, and, it is what it is, right?
It
So,
is what it is.
yeah. But the competition is there. I think there's definitely, I mean, because I'm pretty sure we were Division 1. Again, we're going back to my high school. I don't know why I keep doing that, but but that was only 40 years ago now. But, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't pay that much attention, but it is important. And I know my son, he was a wrestler, and they were not Division 1, and there was discussion about that as well, and he was never like they went to state and did those kinds of things,
Sure.
but it just makes a difference in the number of kids and the number of the talent pool that you have, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like anything else, it's about your head coach and the program that they develop and the type of youth opportunities you have. We actually just shifted last year to invest in elementary school sports. And that will move into our new intermediate school and middle school, that we have opportunities for kids at the youngest of ages to get them involved. Not every family has the means to put their kids in the club sports programs. So, our we really believe that kids' sense of belonging in their school is enhanced so much by being involved in co-curricular opportunities, and that almost always anyway, yields positive results in the classroom.
Right.
And that's obviously
Yeah.
where we're really, really wanting to see success. So,
Yeah, study after study after study has said
mhm,
that, having extracurricular sports and extracurricular activities make a difference in the classroom, make a difference in
yeah,
confidence, especially with young girls too. It's incredible the difference it makes for young girls, and I've read some of those studies, and it's so true. And it's like, yep, yep. I always told my daughter, nope, you got to play sports. You got to play sports.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
just
kinda funny, I have 2 kids. My, oldest, Samantha, wasn't a sports person, but she was in choir and did theater. And then I have my son who was in the sports, and he was the sports kid, but didn't do any of the other stuff. So, it's like, yep, raised under the same roof, with a lot of similar experiences, but boy, they have their different passions, which I just said, "The only rule is you have to do something."
right,
I'm not gonna
exactly.
tell you what it is, but you
Yeah.
gotta do something.
Yeah, and yeah, and then you have that one that just wants to do everything, and it's like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
you can't do all of it. You have to pick the one, because wrestling and basketball run at the same time. You have to pick one. You can't
Yes.
do both of them.
Can't probably do both of those.
No, not easily anyway.
We
So
have an occasional field goal kicker that'll also play soccer, but, that's
yeah,
they primarily show up for the football games to kick the ball
right.
through the
And
thing.
football, boy, we are high school football, Friday night football, the best. It's just you'll never, I don't think you ever get over that experience of, you just go there and it's like, it doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. There's just something
Feel.
about high school Friday night football. You just
Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
it's that community. It's that
Yeah.
community, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you haven't experienced it ever in your life, listeners,
Yeah.
find your local high school and just kind of, don't be creepy, but go and experience it, because it's just, we actually went, we live, like I said, in Corpus Christi, and we have a really good friend. Her son is they're Division 1, I think, in Texas.
Yeah.
Again, I'm talking, I don't know. I'm talking, don't correct me, I don't know, but they're big school. So, and he's got a scholarship, and she said, we just said, we want to see him play. We never really got, it wasn't something that we did all the time, but boy, I went back and it was like, oh, this is so much fun. Where's the
Fun.
popcorn? Give me the
Yep.
popcorn. I gotta have the popcorn. And it was a fall, and it wasn't too cold, because I'm in Corpus Christi. It wasn't so cold. I remember some cold nights a couple of times, but Yeah,
Yeah,
so fun, so fun.
very.
Well, so what would you say, um, for those that are experiencing or may be experiencing the kinds of challenges that you are experiencing as a superintendent? What kind of advice would you give somebody who's maybe a new superintendent or considering going into a position and knowing that this is some of the challenges is declining enrollment? What would you say to that person?
Well, what I would say is to try to remember always why we're here, because you're not going to be able to please everyone in the role of superintendent or quite frankly any leadership role, and ask the right questions, involve the community. Those are two big ones. At the same time we're talking about declining enrollment, we're also talking about very old school buildings that need some care. And
Right,
so we've sort of tied sort of the two together to say like, hey, we need we have an obligation to right size our school district. We can't continue to operate the same way that we did 25 years ago when we
right,
have, 1,200 less kids. So if you're going to try, then that means ultimately you have to make choices. And unfortunately, you'd be making choices of cutting programming and opportunities for kids as opposed to bricks and mortar. I pick kids and opportunity every time. And
right,
I think it's telling that story to your community so they understand that, you're in a position where something needs to be done one way or another. So really trying to help them understand. We did town halls, we did Q&As, I recorded things, I did frequently asked questions documents. I really, really feel like the public understood, and we saw neighboring communities struggle a little bit with, community outcry when they had to go through this process, but we involved I ran a, advisory committee of staff and citizens in separate fashions, where we went
mhm,
through and educated them on all of the variables involved in making tough decisions like this. And then we also had them come up with solutions. And ultimately, the solutions that they came up with is what we recommended to the school board. So it was a very, very community driven exercise. And so as a result, um, was there some disappointment? Was there some hurt? And was there some even anger about closing schools? The answer is yes. And I think you'll get that universally everywhere. But we didn't have near the outcry that some communities, schools have had around here. People sort of took it in stride. I would say, I would say I was very grateful,
yeah, for sure,
just
right? Yeah,
to not have some of that. So I would say involving the community and really making it about educating them about the tough decisions and just being very open and honest about the why. And, people appreciate transparency. People appreciate you just, whether it's good, bad, or other, you got to say what it is. You got to be honest with them. And I would say that, looking back in hindsight, myself and our team really did a good job of those things, which helped us ultimately when the time came for the tough stuff.
right. Yeah, well, good for you. Good for you guys. Yeah, change nobody likes change. People don't like
No,
change.
tough.
We none of us do, It just
Yeah,
but it is a part of life. We were just talking about change in your household,
that's
you're
right.
experiencing that change now. And I was talking to somebody the other day about, we have
We have
stages in
stages in
life and
life,
there's changes all through life. It's just a part of it. You don't have to like it, but you have to embrace it, or you're going to be miserable your whole life if you just cry about change all the time, right? So,
You got
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I don't like being 58, but there it is, the wrinkles are coming. I'm fighting the gray with all I got, but
Well, I
it
hear you on
just
that.
it is what it is. It's just a
Yep,
part of life, but I'll take the wrinkles over the alternative, right?
for sure.
Oh,
No doubt
all
about
right.
it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Lee, thank you so much for your time and for coming on Brighter Together and being transparent about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right?
Yep.
And you guys are doing amazing things, and I loved hearing about the good things, and I love the fact that you said we prioritize the kids over the buildings, and that's so telling to me how much you love your kids and your community, and ooh, that just gives me the chills.
Well,
So, keep it
you
up.
know, as one further anecdote,
No, sure.
uh, I, so the vote was taken, and it announced that Jackson and Madison elementary schools would be closing. And I had a lady call and leave me about a 3-minute voicemail to express her displeasure with that decision. In the voicemail, left an opportunity for me to give her a call back by asking, I need to understand why, because
Mm.
my kids are successful today because of that school. And I just merely asked her one question, which was, "Can you please tell me the last time you learned anything from a building?"
Mhm, good question.
And
Oh,
she just
yeah.
paused and she said, "I know what you're saying, but," and I get it, but at the same time, I reminded her that it was the people inside of that building who
Mhm.
helped educate her children and teach them the values and help them learn how to be responsible and respectful that really made the difference, not the fact that that building sat there in that particular spot. I don't think I changed her mind,
Yeah,
on her, opinions on things, but I think it's important to point that out that, the buildings may have a special place in our heart, but that's not the real
yeah,
value there. The
yeah.
value
When you really yeah. I'm sorry, the value go ahead, I
are the
interrupted you.
values in the people.
The values and the people, yeah. The people are the things, and I'm glad that you said that too because, I've talked to so many one of the things that we do with Brighter Together, because we serve and Lighthouse Therapy too, we serve all schools. We will serve any school district, big, large, public, private, virtual, charter, you name it. So I've had Christian schools, I've had public schools, I've had private schools, I've had charter schools, I've had virtual charter schools. I mean, all of them on the show because the people are the ones, all of the people that I talk to are the people who love the kids and want what's best for the kids, right?
Yeah,
Because they're our future. And I
yeah,
also always say, left side of the aisle, right side of the aisle, doesn't matter. Everybody cares about the kids and everybody wants what's best for the kids. So, no matter where you are, you love on those kids and you want what's best for your children and best for the next generation. And I think that if we could as a nation embrace that, it would make life so much easier.
wouldn't it though?
Yeah. And we're not
Would
there yet, but I'm a firm believer in that we will get there. We will get there one way or another. It's not going to stay this way, and you know, life goes on whether you like what's happening or not. Life will
right.
continue to go on. So yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
like it.
I have faith in people too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. Faith in humanity, right? The faith
Yes.
in humanity. We
Yeah,
are we are all here. We are all trying to do what's best and live the best life that we can. We only get one. You
that's
only get
right.
one. Yeah. So, well, Lee, it's been a fabulous conversation. Thanks again for
Yes.
being on Brighter Together and keep up the good work. Enjoy that senior year with your son. Enjoy the process.
Yeah, well, thanks so much again. It was a pleasure to be with you today.